know about you guys, but I have no problem with making my own birthday cake, especially when it is my absolute favorite. Last week was my birthday and we got all dressed up and had a little party at home. I don't know why, but this is like my favorite way to have little celebrations, is just dressed up at home. And the very best part was we ate this amazing chocolate cake, which I'm about to show you how to make right now. There are a few reasons why I love this cake so much. One is that it only uses pantry staple ingredients, so I always have everything that I need on hand to make it. It doesn't even require a blender or a mixer, so you can whip it up really fast, which is especially good for me because there are so many times where I have needed to make this cake last minute. And lastly, it is seriously so delicious and moist, and everyone always raves about it. Starting off with our dry ingredients, I use white flour for this recipe. I usually use healthier flours, but for this super rich, delicious chocolate cake, I just go with plain white flour. I also use plain white sugar, same thing as the flour. I usually don't use it, but for this cake, I just really like it. Then we add some pure cacao or cocoa powder. Just make sure it's not the kind with sugar added because that would be way too sweet. Then we add some baking powder and baking soda. This makes the cake super fluffy. And then we add some coffee. This does not make the cake taste like coffee. It just brings out the chocolatey flavor. And then we just add in some salt. Now onto our wet ingredients. I use sunflower seed oil for this recipe. You can really use any kind of neutral oil, or also if you are into coconut, this cake tastes delicious with coconut oil. It like infuses it with this coconutty flavor, which is really delicious. Then we add 1 cup of filtered water, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, as well as 1 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar. This balsamic vinegar is what is going to activate the baking soda, and that gives the cake this super fluffy texture. And if you don't have that, you can also use regular vinegar. This is how I prep my loaf pan, with some parchment paper. This just makes it really easy to lift out at the end. Just be sure to take off those clips before you put it in the oven. Once you have it all ready, you're going to pop it into the oven for about 40 minutes, depending on your oven. You just want to make sure whenever you take it out that a toothpick comes out clean. Okay, so now we will get started with this ridiculously delicious icing. We're just going to melt 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. It doesn't have to be super hot, it just needs to be warm and melted through. And then to a bowl, you're going to add some pure cacao or cocoa powder, maple syrup, vanilla extract, and that coconut oil that we melted, along with a little pinch of salt. And then just mix that together until smooth. And this is really easier to mix with a whisk, so use that if you have one. All right then. I just dropped the cake on the floor, girls. So I just dropped the cake on the floor. Oh, I didn't realize I had chocolate on my face. Great. So I guess I'm gonna make it again to finish the video. Note to self: do not tilt the pan as you have these slippery oven mitts on your hands, because it might fall all over the floor. Let's try this again, shall we? Once you have safely gotten your cake out of the oven, just run a butter knife along the sides of the pan where there is no parchment paper. That's just to avoid any sticking. And then just gently lift out the cake out of the pan and let it sit and cool for at least 30 minutes. And then for the fun part, spread that beautiful icing all over the top of your cake.
Put it in your mouth. Put it in your mouth.
So this cake is really delicious the day that you make it, but I have to say that it is even better the day after. So if you can plan ahead and make it one day before eating, I highly recommend doing that. I hope you guys like this cake as much as we do. It is really the perfect balance of moist and fluffy, and the icing is seriously to die for. Trust me, once you make it, it's going to become your next go-to cake. I can't wait to see you next time. All right, Cora, we gotta put your hat. Cora Blanca wants you to wear a hat.